Hey guys, so today's lesson is going to be another lesson in the series of me talking about how to play chord progressions. So I've made a few videos on this so far, you know, how to play bar chords, how to play major chord progressions, how to play minor chord progressions, and as well as that I did a lesson which is very important if you're going to be doing today's lesson on how to play seventh chords. So just to quickly recap, there were 4 different tonalities we had to learn, okay, major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, and minor 7 flat 5, and we learned a chord shape for having the root note of that chord on the E string and the A string. So just to go over them quickly, there was major 7, minor 7 on the E string, dominant 7 on the E string, minor 7 flat 5 on the E string, then on the A string, again major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, and minor 7 flat 5. Okay, so you're going to need to know those shapes to be able to do this. Or if you know any other shapes for those same chord tonalities with the root note on the E string and A string, those will work fine too. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So the method I'm going to be using is the exact same that I used to teach major chord progressions and minor chord progressions. So we're going to have a chord map, and where you see the chord written is where the root note will be built, and then the corresponding chord tonality is going to dictate the shape you play. So if we look at this first one, okay, the 1 major 7, that indicates our 1 chord. So in this particular case, I've got it on the 5th fret. Okay, so I'd play a major 7 chord built from where that root note is. So this would be in the key of A major. Okay, but again, wherever you move this 1, all the other chords are going to move relative. So if I wanted to play in the key of C major, I would just find the C note on the E and play that shape there. But for now, let's stick to A. So the next chord we'll look at is the 4 chord. Okay, so the 4 chord is built on the 5th fret of the A string, and it's major 7. Okay, so if we did a 1-4 using these chord extensions or 7th chords, we would go 1 major 7, 4 major 7. Okay, now the next chord is going to be our 5. Now we're going to play this as a dominant 7 chord, okay, not major 7. People get that confused. Dominant 7, which will be this shape, and then back to our 1. Okay, so I've got 1 major 7, 4 major 7, 5 dominant 7, 1. Right, instantly this has a lot more color than if we just used our triad chords. So went, for example, 1 major, 4 major, 5 major, 1 major. But with 7ths we have 1 major 7, 4 major 7, 5 dominant 7, then back to 1 major 7, right? Has that really jazzy R&B bluesy kind of sound. Okay, so the next chord we'll look at. So again, if our 1 is here, we'll look at our 2 chord, which in this case is going to be a minor 7. Okay, so that would be our 2 chord. 1 major 7, 2 minor 7. Now our 3 chord, we can either go, again, I've got multiple options for this. Exact same thing as I did in the other videos. There's more than one place you can play these chords. Okay, 3 chord, we're on the 9th fret, minor 7, or we can build it from the 4th fret. Okay, 4th fret on the A string, which will require us to play a different shape, obviously. Okay, so far we have 1 major 7, 2 minor 7, 3 minor 7, 4 major 7, 5 dominant 7, 1 major 7. Cool? Okay, and you can experiment with where you play these chords, right? I could go 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, or I could go 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 1. Either one's going to work, just up to your personal preference. Now the next chord, okay, our 6th chord. So again, if our 1's here, we can either go all the way to the 9th fret on the A, play that 6 there, using the minor 7 shape for the A string, or we can go back 3 frets to the 2nd fret and play minor 7, right? 1 major 7, 6 minor 7, or 1 major 7, 6 minor 7. Okay, they're both going to work. Cool. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Now the next chord, okay, this is a chord I didn't have in the triads when I was doing the major chord progressions, because the 7th chord, if you play that as a triad, it's a diminished triad, which just sounds really really horrible if you're playing it in context with a major chord progression, because if I went like 1 major, 4 major, then I just play this diminished triad. Right, it's just like not awesome. Back to 1. But as a -7 flat 5 chord, now that we know how to extend that triad, it actually sounds alright. So if we go 1, then 7, -7 flat 5, and then 1. Right? Still not, it's still a tension chord, to put it lightly, or it wants to move somewhere, right? Again, it's not used that often in major harmony, but it's very important to know. So far, these are all the chords we have. So we have 1 major 7, 2 minor 7, 3 minor 7, 4 major 7, 5 dominant 7, 6 minor 7, 7 minor 7 flat 5, it's a mouthful, then 1 major 7, right? And again, you can play these wherever they're written. So I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Cool? Alright, I'll just do a little jam with those chords so you get an ear for what's going on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay, kind of weird, but you get the idea. Now the next chord map, okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but it's the exact same diatonic chords, so all major chords, well, all chords that belong to the major scale, but with our 1 chord starting on the A string. And again, I've explained this before, but like if you're in a key like D, you might want to not be starting your 1 chord all the way here at a D note on the E string. Okay, you would probably want to start it on a D note on the A string because it's more centered in the fretboard, even though technically the 12th is more center, but it's just a nicer place to play chords. So if our 1 chord's here, major 7, our 2 chord will be 2 frets across, -7, our 3 chord over here, -7, or our 3 chord could be back here, then our 4 chord, major 7, 5 dominant 7, 7, -7 flat 5, 1. Now I could go 6, -7, right? Hopefully you're following this. I know I'm rushing through it, but you should have a good idea of how to read these by now if you've seen my other videos. But let's continue. So those are how you play major chord progressions using 7th chords, okay? So mess around with this, just come up with some random chord progressions. Just start with single cadences, you know, just practice going 1, 4 in different keys. No, that'd be the key of A. Try it in the key of C sharp, 1, 4. Try it in the key of E, so you would start your 1 on the A string, 1, 4, 1. Alright, mess around with that a bit. Anyway, so the next step is similar kind of deal, but now we're going to be playing minor chord progressions. Okay, so playing in the minor key. So, next chart. So our 1 chord is now going to be a -7, again, starting on the A string. Now in the minor key, our 4 chord will also be -7, and so, okay, just slow down. So 1 chord -7, 4 chord -7. Now our 5 chord, it can either be a -7, okay, technically this would belong to the minor scale or Aeolian mode, but what often happens, and I hinted at this in my minor chord progression video, is that we borrow a dominant 7 chord from the harmonic minor scale. Okay, so we can play our 5 chord as either a -7 or a dominant 7. Right, I'll go through them both. So I'll do a 1, 4, 5. The first time I'll play a 5 as a -7 chord, and the second time around I'll play that 5 as a dominant 7. And you'll notice it has a way stronger sounding resolution with the dominant 7. Okay, so 1, 4, 5, 1. Go around again, 1, 4 -7, 5 dominant 7. Right? Quite a different sound. So that's up to you how you want to do that. Okay, just use your ear with that stuff. Next chord. So if our 1 is -7, our 2 chord in the minor key is going to be our -7 flat 5 chord. Okay? So this one here. So 1, 2 -7 flat 5. Right, this is more commonly used in a minor key than a major key, so helpful to know. So we have 1, 2 -7 flat 5, then our 3 chord is a major 7. Okay, so we have 1, 2 -7 flat 5, 3 major 7, and again we could play that 3 major 7 on this 3rd fret on the A string. Okay, then I'll go through them. 4 -7, 5 dominant 7. Then if we go across 1 fret, we play our 6th chord as a major 7. Okay, so far we got 1, 2, 3 major 7 or 3 major 7, 4 -7, 5 -7 or dominant 7. Right, that would be dominant 7. And then 6 major 7. Cool. And again, 6 major 7 could be down here. Now our last chord, okay, in the minor key, is going to be our 7 chord, which is actually played here, and it's a dominant 7. Oh, whoops. So 1 -7, then 2 frets back from our 1. It's going to be our 7 chord, and we play it as a dominant 7. Okay, so now we have all 7 chords. So I'll go through them. So 1 -7, 2 -7 flat 5, 3 major 7 or 3 major 7, 4 -7, 5 -7 or dominant 7, then 6 major 7 or play it down here, 6 major 7, 7 dominant 7, 1 -7. Okay, and I'll just mess around with that a bit. So 1, 4, 2, 5 dominant 7, 1, 6 major 7, 7 dominant 7, 3 major 7, 1. Okay, so that's what it sounds like when you play in a minor key using these 7th chords. Quite a nice sound. Now the last chart, again, same kind of deal, but now our 1 chord is built from a root note on the A string, and for the exact same reasons as you might want to play your 1 on the A string with major chord progressions, same as with minor chord progressions, right? If you're in a key like D, right, you won't want to be playing your D all the way up here necessarily, okay? So just to go through them quickly, so we have our 1 -7, 2 -7 flat 5, 3 major 7, okay, or I could play my 3 major 7 back here, and then 4 -7, 5 -7, or dominant 7, then flat 7, oh sorry, just 7, dominant 7, I mean technically it is a flat 7, but I don't want to confuse you, so 7, dominant 7, and then 1 -7. Cool. Okay, so 1 -7, 7 dominant 7, 6 major 7, 7 dominant 7. Alright, if you want to play a jazzy version of All Along the Watchtower. Alright, you get the idea. So, hopefully that was, you were able to comprehend that, and I didn't go over it too quickly. But as always, I'll leave a link to this chart, a link to the Google Drives where you can download this sheet in the description, and as well as that, I'll leave links to any of the other videos you might need to watch to make sense of this in the description. But as always, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll see you next time.